Okay, so this is the fully finished Made Marines Tech Guy backpack. This specific backpack has 14 buttons, just FYI. They'll come in important later. So, officially this is like the replacement for the blue. So, but whatever. First, I basically went off of what would contrast best. So Fulgrim Pink is first. As you can see, it's the main part of the backpack where blue normally would be on a standard guy. Next is Screamer Pink, which is where gray would be on a standard backpack, including the buttons in the back. Next is Castellax Bronze, which is that plate place there. You can see it on this work in progress Chaos Cultist. This is where the backpack attaches to the back. It just kind of sits there, so both those are Castellax. Next is Galvorbeck Red. This is my fancy leather, but because, you know, pink and purple is their whole shebang, I made it all the leather for the Tech-maids. Which means it's all this back, that pouch, those straps, and yes, it is very similar to Screamer Pink. But, whatever. Arc Armor Gold, as you can see, are these 4 buckles. Next is Nikola Oxide, which is for communication cables, as you can see there. Next is Stormhost Silver, which is for this cylinder. I think it's a sensor. That cylinder, this, the entirety of that lower part of that gray box, or silver box, and the bottom of the sensor. Next is Retributor Armor, which is only the middle of this. Or, on certain backpacks, there is a middle. As you can see, there's a ring there and a ring there. It'll be the middle of the antenna. However, on, I think the majority, there is no middle ring, so it's all copper. But, so on a backpack like this, only the middle of the sensor. Iron Warriors, that is the rings on here. Upper and lower rings. Warblock Bronze is the tube here, the ridged one coming out of the silver cylinder. Next is Skull Crusher Brass. It is the walkie-talkie and the walkie-talkie holder, better shown on this bad boy. Next is Screaming Skull. It is cover up your mistakes. You could also use, normally I would do, leave that plain, but I was very messy and Fulgrim Pink is hard to work with. So Screaming Skull was put in there so it could still be the usual screen as seen on most backpacks. I think that one was one I did really careful on and left the plain primer underneath, ordered with gray. But speaking of screens, Soulstone Blue, it is this little gauge indicator, as well as the light in the front. Next is Flash Gets Yellow, which is this little tube, which I always forget to paint. This little tube around the ribbed one, which I managed to forget to paint this time. And it's also, along with, I said it was the indicator for this screen as well, too, I think, hopefully. But so Flash Gets Yellow, Ghost Blaster Green, Gene Stealer Purple, Mephiston Red, and Temple Guard Blue, those comprise all the buttons, various buttons, so including that little thing at the bottom of the sensor, that indicator, all the things that look like buttons, and I decided to start doing it on the lights as well. I figured 10% battery running. I figured that since purple would fit in the least, there was 14, I counted 14 buttons on this particular one. Since purple fit in the least, I would give it only 2. And yellow, because it was chords, I think I only gave it 2 as well. I don't know. Somehow the math works out. Whatever. Second to last was Screaming Bell, which is for every rivet. So those 2, the 4 around the base of this, so you flip it, there's 4 on the top and bottom, and those front 2, as well as the buckle on the side bag. And lastly, Hashute Copper for the antenna, or on some backpacks, the upper antenna, because this is a great panning handle along with this. And there's nearly 5 minutes covering basically 3 color changes on a backpack. Anyways, time to upload this. Or keep it in my phone forever. Who knows?